I was never comfortable enough to leave my job. I was very, very uncomfortable at my job. My intention wasn't there. My attention wasn't there. I was not there. A big obstacle between where you are right now and where you want to be is probably fear of lack of security. There is something about your full-time job, as annoying as it might be in many respects, because you're clearly thinking about leaving, that is always taking up half your attention, if not more. But if you were so motivated to change your situation and you weren't constantly thinking, oh, but I have this job and I have this and I have these things, then you would put more stock, put more ideas, put more energy into the potential of something different. I have had this very real conversation with so many clients who are saying, I don't know how to get it to a full-time level. It's like, that's okay. You don't have to know how. You have to take one step at a time. But if you're not taking a single step because you're afraid of what you might lose, that is a decision. That is what you are choosing. If you're stuck in the side hustle and haven't figured out how to take it to the full-time entrepreneurial level that you see for yourself, I have some honest advice I want to share with you. Whether you feel like it's lack of time, lack of revenue, lack of resources, lack of ideas, lack of a business altogether, and you really want to figure out what does it mean to be able to get to a point where you can leave a job, be in a good situation, and work for yourself. That's what this video is all about. How many years has it been? My goodness, 2024, 2011. 13 years? Time flies. It has been 13 years since I made my big break away from the full-time job. But I started my business more than 15 years ago. So I know what it's like to be in the side hustle for a little while. Some of it very intentional, some of it like chomping at the bit, ready to get out. When is it ever going to happen? What do I need to do? And then there actually came the day where I was able to leave and go out on my own. I will never forget the first day I worked for myself. I was just excited to take my laptop and go to a coffee shop and just sit in the same place for the whole day, as if that was different than what my full-time job was. I was just in an office, not at a coffee shop table. But the side hustle existed in like this slow incline. At first, I didn't even know I was side hustling. I had just found a passion and I was working on it. I started meeting like-minded people. They kind of clued me in that I was learning a skill set, a trade that I could actually sell. And then the idea came into my brain that I might actually leave my job, which was very strange because you're talking about a time in the economy where it was just kind of coming back from a tragic moment. So nobody was talking about leaving their job to start a business at the time. Not very many people anyway. Definitely not in the digital space or YouTubers. Not many. But one thing I remember vividly was the day that I decided I was going to leave my job. I could not sleep for so many nights, which I sleep very well. That's saying something. I was really worked up about it. But those nights that I was sleepless, that I had made this decision, that I was convicted, was a year before I actually left the job. Not just because I was scared to jump, but I knew I needed to do some things to get ready. I had made the decision and now I needed to make it happen. And there were some things I had to do. Somebody asked me a question on a business Q&A on my Instagram recently. How did you manage to feel comfortable enough to leave your job money-wise? I was never comfortable enough to leave my job. I was very, very uncomfortable at my job. My intention wasn't there. My attention wasn't there. I was not there. I was not comfortable with where I was because I knew there was so much time I could be spending on something that could be really amazing for my life, my purpose, my financials, my destiny. So I wasn't comfortable enough to leave from a money perspective, especially because it is very difficult for most to be able to put in the attention and the care to a side hustle business to get it to a point where it fully supports you and you feel comfortable leaving. Part of this is because of something really important. A big obstacle between where you are right now and where you want to be is probably fear of lack of security. There is something about your full-time job, as annoying as it might be in many respects, because you're clearly thinking about leaving, that makes you feel secure. It could be how often you get paid and you get the same amount every time. It could be the benefits that you have. There's lots of stuff that a job can do for you to offer you security. And for that benefit, you are asked to show up for someone else to build their business. That's the trade you're talking about. So while you might have a multitude of reasons why you haven't left yet, one of them is very likely the biggest one and keeping you from exploring the resources and solutions to those other things. And that is your fear of lack of security. If you're constantly thinking, or I could just stay here and I would be able to depend on X, Y, and Z. That is always taking up half your attention, if not more, very likely more. Because if your side hustle business and the trajectory it could go on was taking more space in your mind, then you might feel a bit more empowered to combat this potentially false sense of security. There are some secure things about a job. If you keep it, if they keep you, if you're good at it, if you show up, if somebody doesn't beat you out for your spot. So if you want to get unstuck from the side hustle, start by asking yourself this question. Is my goal of growing this business more fulfilling than how my job makes me feel secure? If the fundamental answer to that is no, that's okay. Just be honest with yourself. You are relying on the security of your job to a certain degree that it is keeping you from exploring your options otherwise. Meanwhile, a lot easier to blame other things, right? The economy, not enough business, not enough money, not enough time, yada, 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 can't go full time yet. But if you were so motivated to change your situation and you weren't constantly thinking, oh, but I have this job and I have this and I have these things, then you would put more stock, put more ideas, put more energy into the potential of something different. You got to be honest with yourself about whether or not you actually want this thing to be full-time, or if your life could just look a little bit more multi-layered and a little different, and you just have the side hustle. I have had this very real conversation with so many clients who are saying, I don't know how to get it to a full-time level. It's like, that's okay. You don't have to know how. You have to take one step at a time. But if you're not taking a single step because you're afraid of what you might lose, that is a decision. That is what you are choosing. Now, if you're genuinely really interested in growing this thing, now ask yourself, why is it that your side hustle isn't increasing in revenue? Is it because you're staying at the same price point and it needs to go up? Is it because you don't have enough clients? What are those things? And then you got to ask yourself, well, why? Why am I not raising my prices? Why have I not found more clients? Am I asking for referrals? Am I creating lead generation on some level? If you build it, they don't always come, guys. I'm just being honest with you. There's a lot of people in business these days. There's a lot of side hustlers. There's a lot of full-timers. There's a lot of people who are marketing themselves better than you may be because they have the full-time energy, resources, and time to put toward it. It doesn't mean you can't grow. An additional client offering you double the pay could change the game for you, maybe two, or just increasing the prices with customers who are already happy and finding new ways to shape a product and service for them could be the ticket to making the difference to your bottom line. But if you aren't giving that a real thought because you think it's because I don't have the time or the resources to be able to get more creative, to be able to go full time because I need all this other money that's coming in, you're not going to make a change. You'll never know this until you do it. I promise you when you do, you're going to be blown away. But it isn't until you have burnt off some of the stuff that's taking your attention away from your business that allows gasoline to be on the fire of the little embers that you've got going. What an interesting analogy that was. I don't know much about fire, but I think I got that one. When I went from side hustle to full-time, like that day, I did not have a full-time roster of clients. I didn't, because the people who were talking to me during side hustle status were saying, oh, interesting. Yeah, maybe I'll work with you. Maybe. And it never really panned out. And I found out later in part because I couldn't offer them my full-time attention. I couldn't even take a call with them during most hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. But the first thing I did when I made the jump, sitting in the coffee shop, very pleased with my new office, was fire off emails to people who I'd met, who I'd networked with, potential clients who I hadn't closed the deal on yet, and just said, hey, I just wanted you to know I am 100% full-time and I'm here. If you need me, let me know. If you have any questions, just what can I do to support you? Immediately, a couple clients or a couple of friends who were waiting for me to go full-time referred me clients, and within a couple of weeks, I had full-time work. The stakes were higher. I was trying harder and I didn't have anything else to rely on. I had gotten my ducks in a row from a financial and expenses standpoint, and I was ready to work. But I did not wait for people to come to me. I had been meeting and trying and doing side hustle and doing free work and doing lots of stuff before any of that could have happened. If I asked you, why haven't you gone out on your own yet? If you genuinely think you're stuck in this side hustle and you have not made it happen, and you have an answer for me that is an outside circumstance, I gotta tell you, you've already made up your mind. If you've decided that it's because you have to take care of your family, if you've decided that it's because you need this health insurance, if you've decided that it's because you can't live on anything other than this amount of money, if you've decided it's because anything to do with the economy or taxes or education or anything, if you have decided something outside of yourself is the reason that you haven't done this yet, you have already made up your mind. I'm not saying you should be hard on yourself. I just think you need to be honest about the fact that it is your responsibility. You're the only one in charge here. You are the one that determines if this thing could work out. And when you have that clarity of what the goal is and you go toward it no matter what, I'm not saying to quit your job willy-nilly. I'm just saying know what the goal is and do everything everything in your power to move forward toward it every single day, something small, something little every day, so that you can get closer to it, rather than come up with new ways every day to blame outside circumstances as to why it's not happening yet. And maybe the perfect circumstances are on their way. We'll just sit here and wait. This is your life. This is your decision. This is your livelihood. This is your opportunity to say, I want to work on my terms and I want to make the money that I want to make on my terms. I want more leverage. I want more power. I want more freedom. I want to be able to do the things that get me excited every day. That's up to you. That's not up to anyone else. And you may need to take care of your family. You may need to make sure they have health insurance. You may need to make sure your mortgage gets paid. You may need to do all those things. I highly recommend that you do, but there's a lot of ways to do that. There's a lot of ways to make that happen. And if this business means something to you, you will work every day to find a way to make it happen. If you're stuck in the side hustle or you have a business question you want to ask me, I have my text phone number in the description down below. Shoot me a question. It actually is me. I will reply to you because I want to see you make this move. Now that you're ready to be honest with yourself about whether or not this side hustle is forever or if it's going to be your full-time gig, I want you to go and answer that question for yourself. Is your fear of security bigger than your feeling of excitement and empowerment to seeing your goal come to life? The most important thing you learn from all of this is that it doesn't matter which option you choose. Once you choose it and decide to go 100%, you have made a drastic improvement of your life, choosing to be present and choosing to be the best of the best at what you spend your time on.